In 2025, LEGO produced enough bricks to circle the Earth more than 20 times. But besides selling billions of tiny plastic pieces, their brand anchors a global network of theme parks and a massive entertainment empire that produce blockbuster movies and top-selling video games. Obviously, LEGO does much more than just selling toys, but is it all just child's play? How has a company selling simple plastic bricks managed to conquer the globe? In the early 1930s, Danish carpenter Ole Kurt Christensen found himself struggling as he didn't have much money and had to dismiss his last worker due to the Great Depression. He began making wooden toys, eventually naming his company Lego, a contraction of the Danish word leg god, which basically means play well. Inspired by the self-locking building bricks by a British toy company, Ole decided to produce an early version of the now familiar plastic bricks. By 1954, Ole's son Gottfried became the junior managing director of LEGO. On a business trip to England, Gottfried met the head of a big shopping center. Their conversation led to the idea of building a toy system. This inspired Gottfried to put systems into play that would strengthen children's imagination and creativity. This means all LEGO elements fit together, can be used in multiple ways, and can be built together. This system plays an important role in the success of LEGO brick, but the original design of the brick was loose and could easily fall apart. So in 1958, the modern brick design was developed. By adding tubes to the brick underside, this enhanced the brick's interlocking strength. This laid the foundation of a standard LEGO block. In fact, a brick being made today can fit the one being made 40 years ago. In 1968, more than 18 million LEGO sets were being sold. In the same year, Legoland Park was opened, attracting 625,000 visitors in its first years alone. Following this explosion in popularity, the 1970s introduced the iconic LEGO minifigures, fundamentally changing the system of play by adding characters and storytelling. They expanded aggressively across the globe, becoming an undisputed giant in the toy industry. But this golden era wouldn't last. By the late 1990s and early 2000s, LEGO's core patent had expired, opening the market to cheaper clone brands. Simultaneously, the rapid rise of home video games began stealing children's attention away from physical toys. In a panic to stay relevant, LEGO lost its identity. The company diversified recklessly, creating clothing lines, magazines, TV series, and expanding theme park. But this expansion also caused the company to lose its focus on developing the system of play. By 2003, the LEGO Group were hemorrhaging nearly hundreds of thousands of dollars every single day, standing on the very edge of bankruptcy. To survive, LEGO had to engineer one of the greatest corporate turnarounds in history. Under the leadership of a new CEO in 2004, the company restored their focus on their core LEGO bricks and sold off non-core assets. But the ultimate key to their financial rescue and the foundation of their modern revenue model was intellectual property. While they had tentatively tested licensing with Star Wars in 1999, LEGO now fully embraced it. By partnering with global franchises like Harry Potter, Marvel's, and Batman's, LEGO effectively turned Hollywood's billion-dollar blockbuster into their own marketing engine. They were no longer just selling a box of bricks. They were selling a physical piece of pop culture. This pivot successfully bridged the gap between a struggling toy maker and the high-margin entertainment powerhouse we see today. But LEGO's smartest move wasn't just changing what they sold, but who they sold to. They discovered a huge group of customers with a lot more money than children, the adult fan of LEGO. Instead of just making small toys for kids, LEGO began designing massive, complicated sets specifically for adults. Through special collections like architecture or botanical collection, they turned plastic bricks into expensive home decor. When an adult spends $100 on a giant Star Wars ship or a huge model of the Titanic, they aren't just buying a toy, they are buying a relaxing experience. This allows them to charge much higher prices and prove that their biggest profits come from the display shelf, not the toy box. However, LEGO doesn't just design sets behind closed doors, they actually let their fans lead the way. Through a platform called LEGO Ideas, anyone can submit their own custom creations, from famous movie scenes to complex machines. If a fan's design gets 10,000 votes from the community, LEGO's official designers would review it to see if it can become a real set sold in stores. This crowdsourcing strategy has led to some of LEGO's most popular products, like the NASA Apollo Saturn and the Central Perk set from France. By listening to fans, LEGO get thousands of fresh ideas they might never have thought of, and the fan designers even get 1% of the sales. This creates a powerful ecosystem and a moat that make it almost impossible for other toy brands to compete. Moreover, LEGO's expansion into movies and theme parks transformed the company from a toy manufacturer into a global entertainment powerhouse. By launching massive projects like the LEGO Movie and the LEGO Star Wars video game series, the company turns its products into the star of their own stories. These media ventures act as a multiplier for their revenue. A child who watches the movie or plays the game is more likely to want the physical set to recreate those scenes at home. Meanwhile, the global network of Legoland theme parks provides a physical brand temple where families can fully immerse themselves in the LEGO universe. This strategy creates a powerful cycle where the media drive toy sales and the toys reinforce the brand's presence in daily life. Both producing blockbuster movies and operating global theme parks enable LEGO to remain the undisputed market leader. In 2025, they generated over $11 billion in revenue. But despite their massive cultural footprint, the company still depends almost entirely on one core product, the physical plastic bricks. Investments in movies and video games are not just marketing activities, they are an attempt to create additional value chains alongside the physical business. To implement entertainment as a business, LEGO takes advantage of a fully integrated media value chain, ranging from Hollywood film production to video game publishing and theme park operations. Owning this ecosystem allows for massive synergies. A fan can watch a LEGO Star Wars special on TV, play the video game on the console, and eventually visit a Legoland park to buy the exclusive merchandise. But we have to look closer. No matter how successful the themes of the park are, the primary engines of LEGO's success remains the physical bricks. They have mastered the art of turning brand investments into high-margin profits, but ultimately, every movie, games, and park serve one singular master, ensuring that the simple plastic brick remains the most essential creative fields in living rooms across the globe. Thank you for watching.